Alright guys, back here with another video, and this time we'll be going over my Zamasu Goku Black Deck Profile from set 16. And before we get started, I do want to ask for you guys to make sure you're subscribed and smash that like button. About 49% of you guys are not subscribed, and that doesn't help me out in the long run, and I want to be motivated to make more and more content for you guys and to make sure that I see that you guys like the videos. If you guys leave comments for me, it does help me out, and it doesn't cost anything to you. Also, I have merchandise in the Shopify linked below, and a Discord for the YouTube now. And we'll be hosting big tournaments there, and maybe some local Friday night tournaments. Once I get some more product and stuff like that in, we'll be hosting those. So make sure you join the Discord and get ready, because I'm pretty sure we're going to reschedule for the 2nd of April, and I need you guys to pre-register and hold your spot down, because it's going to be only 64 players allowed to enter the tournament, and it's going to be some awesome product in the prize pool, and some Airfare Gaming merchandise, and some specific championships, like your top 8, you get special exclusive merchandise from the store with your we're gonna put the placing or name, whichever we decide on that in the long run, based on players wanting those type of things for the top 8. So if you want top 8 or champion on your shirt, you need to make that top 8 for the case tournament. We're gonna have one of those for every set. So set 16, 17, 18, and on. And I wish I'd have been able to do something like this a long time ago, but this is a good time to start whenever people really hype about set 16. But I want to also give a shout out to Eggman for inspiring some cards in this build, and then some ratios and cards in this build. But this is my little take on it. It's a little different than his. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is a Shinron leader, basically. So you get the he's a Zamasu God Shinron leader. So you get to, when he attacks, grab 2 Dragon Balls from your deck and your hand, deck or life, and then you get to awaken when you get to 3 or less life, or you have 7 Dragon Balls in the drop, and that's not too hard to do. It takes maybe a couple turns, sometimes, so well, 2 or 3 turns, depending on how fast you get or how lucky you get to get the Dragon Balls to your hand. Then when you awaken, you draw 1 card and flip over, and then you get to either A, draw a card, activate main, or grab a Dragon Ball and then add it to your hand, which is what you're going to do every time. You're not going to choose to draw a card, because all the Dragon Balls draw cards, so you're just going to. I don't know why. I guess they have a difference between drawing a card and grabbing the ball. But you get to remove 7, activate main instead of draw for one of the other effects, and then remove all Dragon Balls from your drop area. And this card gains triple attack, and you get to play a 2-cost Zamasu, and he gains indestructible for the turn. This is a very interesting yellow Saiyan leader on the back, so you get access to cards for being a yellow Saiyan, but we'll go into detail why we don't play some of those cards in a moment. So for the balls, got 4 Dragon Balls, disregard the non-pretty ones. This ratio is fine. You could bump it up or down depending on how your build is for this, and it does differ depending on how you play the deck. So 4 Dragon Balls and 3 Coercion. Now, Coercion is a really nice card, and allows you to essentially warp 1 God from your hand and draw 2. And he also can warp from your battle area as well, which is cool. So it allows you to loop your Goku Blacks. Speaking of the Goku Black related cards you want to warp, your gods. This is Zamasu self-supported. This is an indestructible Zamasu, and you get to limit 1, pay 1 yellow, and if your leader is Goku Black or Zamasu, you get to add this card from your warp out of your hand, which is really cool, because you do want to do this in turn 1 in most cases after you use Coercion. Well, turn 1 or 2, depending on if you go first or second. And then you get to do the activate battle, send this card and Goku Black from your combo area to your warp. So it gets the Goku Black, if you had it in your hand, when you finally cycle through your cards, to go to your warp, so you can trigger this effect later on as well. Speaking of Goku Black, this is a 4 of. Glad I got my 4 copies for this build specifically. Some of my other builds do not play 4 copies of this card, but this one specifically does, because it's one of the main ways this deck plays, because you're playing the blue-yellow cards. This card is treated as blue, so it's really cool. And then it allows the limit 1 when it's played. You get to choose one of your opponent's non-leader cards and rest them. And you play him from your warp or your hand by when you have 2 or more blue or yellow cards in your battle area or combo area. So activate battle, basically play this guy, and then you get to rest one of your opponent's cards. So it's like Bergamo, and then you still get to play Bergamo. So you got 5 copies of Bergamo-ish cards, and then you have the next card, which is cool. This also allows you to be removal, like Turles. So you get to pay 1, warp this guy, and draw 1 card, and get rid of one of your opponent's cards in rest mode, which is good removal. And 4 of your pivot card. This card is so good because it's Fuse Zamasu, indestructible blocker, so it's with unique. It's a Bojack replacement to an extent, but you pay 2 for it while you have a 2 blue. Basically, when you have a Zamasu and a Goku Black in your combo area, which is really cool. So you have those 2 guys we just showed you in the combo area, and you get to play this guy, activate battle. Then you get to pitch 1 blue, yellow, and restand an energy. And when you do that, you get to rest one of your opponent's non-leader cards. And the card you evolve on top. Now, this card is not only good for that aspect, he is a double strike indestructible blocker, and he has the Aegis blue yellow. And when you do it with him, you draw a card. He also has a check land on turn 0. You can play this card in active mode into your energy, which is really cool. So in your opening hand, you want to see this card to charge in active mode, and or turn 2. If you see a different blue yellow card to charge, is fine as well. But this guy is super good, and I hope you guys got your playset. He's a good finisher, but you evolve for 4 over top of the 5-drop. But that part is like a late game kind of thing, but it's not that necessary. You can win by other means. For Zamasu kind of play, this is the deck this card like really fits in best, and it is a check land as well. And you want to see this card in your turn 2 so you can charge it, and it's good Aegis fodder. And it's a good counterplay. Then you have 4 copies of Goku Black Unforeseen Darkness, and if you guys know me, I love this card. It's one of my favorite battle cards of all time at this point. Any deck I could play this card in for a long time, I played it in. That's why I have the original foils. This is a draw, 2 discard 1 during the end phase, and untap 1 energy, so it's a 1 cost in the end of your day, and helps you cycle your cards and get those cards you don't want in your hand out, and you get to dig for more good cards, and helps you awaken. And well, not awaken, helps you, well, it does too, help you awaken, but it helps you dig for the Dragon Balls after they go on the bottom of your deck. Because when you awaken, you put the Dragon Balls on the bottom of your deck, which is pretty cool. Cool. So, good filter. And also, he's a blue card, so you can discard him for Aegis if you really need to. You're not going to charge him in this deck, specifically the way I have it built, so keep that in mind. You're never going to charge him. So, at worst, he's going to sit in your hand until you discard him with Aegis or combo with him or something like that. Fortune to Bean. This card's amazing in this deck specifically because of the Aegis mechanic and allowing you to play cards like Bergamo and Robotic Riposte and stuff like that on your opponent's turn. And then it's just a really good defensive card and offensive card because your leader game's triple attack, and then we have a few more dual attackers in the deck. So every time I see a card that makes this card better, I'm going to point it out. So leader first, and then obviously Aegis go along with it is really nice. For your extra cards, you got 2 Final Flashes. This is a yellow deck, has yellow energy, and you never charge blue the way I have it designed. And this is just a cheap way to win the game whenever your opponent thinks they have you on the ropes. 2 copies of Goku Black's Kamehameha. So this card is a replacement to Power of Super Saiyan to an extent, especially in this deck where you do have the energy open and you get to draw a card and rest 2 things. So really cool with Aegis. Could bump it up to 3. But 2 copies of Frieza Army's Reinforcement. This is helpful against aggro, and then it's just a really good card when your opponent thinks that they have a way to win and you're holding these in your hand. Because this plus being able to rest your opponent's cards, that makes it to where your opponent's in a tough spot when they finally get to swing and you block, and then during block you get to rest 2 cards of theirs with the combination of Goku Black and your Zamasu Aegis card. 1 Power of a Super Saiyan. This card's limited. Rest in peace to my other copies. And then to go along with those extra cards, and also Coercion is a yellow extra card, so that does count. So it's not that hard to set them up. That's why it's not bad to play in a 60-card build to play not that many extra cards that are not Coercion, because you get those in the drop really easy. But 3 copies of Riposte and 3 copies of Counterplay Goku Steadfast. This card is super good in the instance that it allows you to stop the cards that are literally bombs that don't have deflect. And your opponent, basically, when they realize you have this card, or in yellow extra cards, they know that they can't play those cards in most cases. And also, this is good against Lordings, like all of them. 2 cooler, because why not? This card, it's a 60-card deck, and you really want to be able to see this card some way, some shape, form. And sometimes you want to see more than one in a game. 3 copies of this Unison is just a meta call. There are so many decks that play early big guys, and this card just says, okay, they can attack, and we're going to establish our long game and start clearing your board and resting things. 4 copies of Krillin Super Combo. I think that this deck has a problem whenever you're playing this aggressive decks, and the Zamasu, like you could play Zamasu Super Combo at 1. It does help you in theme wise, but this one helps you get those cards out of your hand when your opponent's pushing for game, and you got a Unison and a Dragon Ball in your hand, and you really don't want those cards in your hand because you drew them on your opponent's turn, and you don't really want those in your hand when you're pushing for game either. So yeah, really good card. 1 Bergamo, because this card just makes Bergamo work so easily. The Aegis cards themselves rest your opponent's cards and then restand to energy. Ha! What needs to energy? Bergamo. So this plus the combination of Goku Black, the 3-drop, rest 3 cards. So you can rest 3 energy, and then your Aegis rests 1 energy. So you can rest 4 of your opponent's energy if you draw this card. This card will eventually get banned. The best secret rare for this deck, Dual Attack. Along with the bean, this is ridiculous. And you can do this, this, and this. So, if you want to have a lot of attacks with beans, so this would be a, let's just say 30k dual attacker, triple attacker, dual attacker, dual attacker. So, like, that's 7 attacks right there if you just include these 3 cards. And along with beans, it makes your opponent really hard for them to, survive. But I thank you guys once again. Make sure to smash that like button once again, and check out the links in the description, especially the Discord. If it's not, it doesn't cost anything for you guys to join the Discord and actually become a part of the new community. And we're gonna set up those tournaments and stuff like that. So if you guys want to see the green-yellow version of this deck and or the other decks from set 16, make sure to leave those comments in the section below so that I know what deck profiles you guys want to see from set 16. My friend has the green decks. We can, whichever one you guys want to see first, Chomper or Beerus, make sure to leave that in the comment section below. I know a few people are going to build the Goku Red UI. I'm also working on it myself. I'm just missing Vegeta Secret Rare. And then I'm also going to work on the other U7 decks that got a boost from this set as well, between Vegeta, U7 Gohan, and there's also some blue decks that I can work on as well. I think EJ is working on a few of the blue decks. So if you guys want to see those on the channel, please leave comments. It really helps me out. Deuces.